Hey, what's up, guys? So we did it. We're in chapters 5 and 6, the end of the book here. I'm really happy to be here doing this with y'all. So let's go ahead and jump in. So let's start at verse 22 in chapter 5. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. Against such things there is no law. So I guess with the short time that I have, I just want to break down sort of the fruit metaphor. So where does fruit come from? It comes from trees, correct? You know where your fruit comes from. We're talking about gardening, right? So if you want to grow fruit, one, you need to plant some trees. So you have some trees in your backyard and you want to get some fruit. So as a gardener, there are some things that you need to do to ensure that fruit comes, or the maximum amount of fruit comes, or the best tasting fruit comes. There are things you're going to want to do as a gardener who wants fruit. You're going to water it. You're going to put fertilizer down or compost. You're going to prune it in the spring. You're going to keep the birds from eating all your berries or your fruit or whatever. So you're going to do lots of different things as a gardener who wants fruit. But here's the thing. So you have a lot of control or a lot of agency when it comes to the amount of fruit and how good the fruit is. You have a lot of control. But no gardener would say that he does this on his own. And in fact, he would probably say he's not the primary factor in the fruit growing. There's something in the sky, and it's called the sun, the burning ball of hot gas that provides all the energy and life that sustains everything on Earth. And really, the sun is what's creating the fruit. Without the sun, there would be no fruit. If there was no sun, it wouldn't matter how many things the gardener is doing. All the watering, the pruning, fertilizing, it would not matter at all because you need the sun. So I really think that Paul is using this fruit metaphor for this very reason. So if you're a follower of Jesus, you've been given the Spirit. And if you're following Jesus, you're accepting his vision for the world. You're accepting what he says is true and what's good. So a few verses earlier he says, walk by the Spirit. Submit to God. Submit to his vision for the world. And do what pleases him. But Paul's asking or commending us to walk by the Spirit because maybe there's ways that we don't walk by the Spirit. And Paul sort of highlights this wrestling match that we have with our old humanity, the old way that we used to live. And you read Paul's list of the deeds of the flesh or the works of the flesh, and you're like, whoa, those are pretty serious. But like in your heart of hearts, like some of those things are there, at least creep up from time to time. Because ultimately those things aren't true of us if we're in the Spirit. But we still face a wrestling match sometimes with a lot of these things. And that's why Paul's like, dude, walk by the Spirit. Submit to God. Submit to his wisdom. because it's really easy to just not water the plants. It's really easy to just sit in your house and not prune your trees, you know? So part of following Jesus is, one, wanting to grow fruit. We should want to grow fruit. So we're partnering with God. We are adopting his vision for the world, for what our lives should be like. And we let him be the primary actor in how that happens. And we know that it's because of him ultimately that we're becoming more like him. But, dude, we need to garden our lives. We need to be doing the metaphorical watering. We need to cut back on the things that are hindering us. So I hope that metaphor helps and breaking down the analogy. Yeah, Paul says, if we live by the Spirit, let us also keep in step with the Spirit. So, takeaway, like, how do I apply this to my life? Change is happening ultimately because of God, but we need to be doing our part in the relationship and not hindering the Spirit. We need to walk in step with the Spirit. So just my encouragement is to, submit to God and submit to his wisdom, and like what are you doing to water your life? Are you getting in the Word? Are you opening up your mind to a greater reality, that this vision that God has for the world? Are you opening yourself up to the possibilities? Because a lot of the stuff that goes on today, you turn on the news, you turn on whatever, you see things online, and you might think, wow, there's no hope, or there's no chance that it's ever going to be any different. But yeah, I guess it's a good tie-in to another verse that I wasn't planning on talking about. But Paul says, for neither circumcision counts for anything, nor uncircumcision, but a new creation. So that's like our ultimate hope, is new creation. And with the Spirit in us, we're getting a taste of that right now. So, by golly, like, walk or keep in step with the Spirit. That's sort of the challenge that I want to give you guys. And there's a lot of difficult things about the situation that we're in now, but just keep hoping in the Lord and just trusting in him, and we'll get through this. And I hope to see you guys soon. Really miss y'all. So yeah, I'll see y'all later.